All right. So welcome once again. I can see that you're ready with your notebook and pen. And there will definitely be some takeaway from this session. And I think what is really important for us is to understand what collaboration is not, as much as we try and understand what collaboration is. So let me just spend a moment to take you through what we do and why we do it, and all that is also a very, very important part of our journey together, because it's important that we understand the power of community, right? That when we started this journey in October, we decided to call it SCL Mastermind, which is Silhouette Circle of Leadership, knowing that leadership is best led if it's in a circle and not in a one-to-many format, right? So there is no one who takes one side of the table because he or she knows better than the rest. It is a circle where everybody has an opportunity to add value. So my request is create a circle of leadership wherever you go, so that you can not only add value to the environment, but also allow the environment to add value to you. Yeah. So what we are here to do as a community is to prepare ourselves to become servant leaders. Now, servant leader means a leader who understands that they have to consciously work upon their ability to lead so that they can serve others through their leadership. That's what servant leader really means. So I'll just quickly take you through a few things that we have to remember and remind ourselves of time and again. So our mission and our vision is something that we need to keep in mind all the time. Whenever we are a part of any community, it's important we align ourselves to the vision and the mission. So what is the vision? The vision is, let's make every enterprise a great place to work. ताकि किसी को रोते झगड़ते ऑफिस नहीं जाना पड़े, ताकि किसी को काम इसलिए नहीं करना पड़े क्योंकि खाना खाना है, रोटी कमानी है, इसीलिए काम करे कि काम करने में मजा आता है, इसीलिए काम करे कि वो काम करने से उनकी लर्निंग बढ़ती है और वो उस लर्निंग को यूज करके किसी पर्पसफुल डायरेक्शन में उसको इन्वेस्ट कर पा रहे हैं, राइट? इसीलिए हमें उस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का कल्चर इस लेवल पे एलिवेट करना है that everybody goes beyond roti, kapda and makan, the lowest level of Maslow's theory, right? If you remember studying that in school or college, the lowest level is what? Just survival. हमारी सारी जिंदगी सिर्फ survival में ही निकल रही है, when we are not going beyond survival, right? So how do we go beyond survival? When we start serving, when we start looking at things outside of us. And for that, we have to build our capability. We have to prepare ourselves to be able to serve people. And that is what our mission is, to build a powerful community of servant leaders, right? Why community? Because when we come together with a mission and it's grounded with love and sense of community, you can make the impossible possible. The impossible that people have in their mind is that organizations are machine making setups. Yahan pe human resource is just another resource. And so it is impossible to create consciousness at an organization level, right? And so they think it is not something that we can make possible. Sure, we can. If we understand that this organization, which we are considering as a soulless entity, is actually a summation of many souls who come together every morning to work for this organization and make it an organization. Now, whether there are 3 people or 30,000 people in that organization, there are 3 souls or 30,000 souls in it. If there are so many souls in that organization, how can the organization alone be soulless and have no consciousness, right? If there is no spirit in the organization, then that's because people are not bringing in their true spirit within the organization, right? So when we work with our spirit and fill our heart with love and lead ourselves with purpose, we can make this impossible possible and give a soul to every organization. Is that a meaningful purpose to go for? Give me a thumbs up, guys. Yeah, would it be part of this revolution, if I may call it as a revolution? Because it is, most of the times when I see people running into entrepreneurship and giving themselves a chance to have a startup, it's only led by the fear of being on the other side. कि अब मुझे job नहीं करना है, क्योंकि कोई भी job करता हुआ खुश नजर नहीं आता है, तो दूसरा option है business. That should not be the reason, correct? So if you have a reason to start your own journey as a startup, the reasons should be aligned to the idea you have, which caters to a need, not because you hate having a job or going for to an organization because anybody else who's doing that is not happy. So there are many principles of servant leadership. We are going to touch upon some of them in detail as a theme of the month, and some of them you are very unknowingly, unconsciously practicing in this journey. If you look at it carefully, you will realize listening, for example, is in fact the theme for our next month, the month of September. So what are some of the themes we've covered already? We started this year with self-awareness, move to stress, then change management, critical thinking, conflict, how to manage conflict, building trust. And this month we'll be concluding collaboration to move into listening skills next month. Then we go to persuasion skills, managing emotions, interpersonal relationships, and what is a hybrid leadership style? What is situational leadership? Right. Please put your hands together for these very special people who have volunteered to practice servant leadership with SCL community. And I'm going to name them, and I would like you to please unmute yourself ताकि मुझे तालियों की गड़गड़ाहट सुनाई दे. Okay, so make it really, really loud because these are the people who are just as busy as we are, but they have chosen to put their hand up and serve SCL community by being ambassadors of the community. So put your hands together for Lata Daswani, Aditi Radhakrishnan, Anjana, Abhishek, Aarti, Nikunj, Premraj, Amit Vardhan. Keep going, there are more. Madhavi, Raina, Rakesh Bhatia, Gaurav Goyal, Pallavi, Farida, Bharti, and Mayur. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for serving us all with your time, with your effort. You will see these people walking the talk. You will see them leading from front. Samta, you were saying something? So I want you to please support them with your participation, right? And feel free to lead the pack yourself as well. Each one of us is a leader here. So very quickly to tell you what the structure is that we've been following from the start. We start with self-awareness on every topic, move to what are your challenges related to that. We come to some new learnings, and then we start preparing for our masterclass, right? And now let's come to the moot point on what is collaboration. There are, of course, a few questions that you have asked, and I will very happily answer those questions. And maybe I will invite collaboration in that and bring in more experts from this room itself to answer some of those questions. But before that, I want to show you a very short video about collaboration, right? I want you to make notes out of that, jaise aapko jo samajh aaye, and then you can ask me any question you want related to that part of the discussion, and then we'll move into questions. All right, give me a thumbs up, please. Good with that? All right, super. So just allow me to share my screen. The video starts with understanding what collaboration is, and I want to safely assume that we are on top of that already. So we're quite comfortable with collaboration is, and straight away moving towards what are the challenges related to collaboration.
With unhelpful and counterproductive assumptions about collaboration and human interaction. So let's try to develop a better understanding of collaboration so we can meet our collaborative challenge more effectively. To do this, I'd like to borrow a framework from two researchers in the United Kingdom, Chris Huxham and Siv Vanjan, who came up with a really helpful way of thinking about collaboration. And I'll round out their framework with some additional ideas from my research and others. Huxham and Vanjan show us that we need to understand the competing forces that are always present in collaboration. That is, we need to appreciate the realities that are part of any collaborative effort. Consider all the good things that can come from collaboration. New ideas, new relationships, shared resources, innovative solutions, strengthened networks, increased legitimacy, etc.
Right. So what are they saying? That collaboration has certain positives and certain negatives. Positives क्या है? कि जब हम collaborate करते हैं, हमें नए ideas मिलते हैं, नए relationships बनते हैं, resources हम share कर सकते हैं, innovation होता है, networking होता है, right? And there is increased legitimacy because now whatever information comes in is checked, cross-checked, and understood by multiple people.
They call this collaborative advantage. Now, conversely, think of all the bad stuff that can happen in collaboration. We mentioned before. Endless discussions, stalemates, unproductive meetings, lack of participation,
right?
etc.
So just as how everything has a positive and a negative, collaboration also has some negatives. For example, there can be endless discussions because when you are in a collaborative leadership, everybody holds a leadership position. That means everybody has a viewpoint. And kai bari wo discussions forever chalte rehte. Then there are stalemates, means nobody wins, right? And we are just frozen at one point. We're not able to decide anything. Unproductive meetings because endless arguments ho rahi hai and endless discussion ho rahi hai, or lack of participation from people because they think that you are a subject matter expert, you talk here, and then they don't kind of bring themselves completely into the collaboration.
They call this collaborative inertia. So we need to think about collaboration in terms of two opposing forces that are always present and need to be managed. Collaborative advantage is what we're hoping to achieve, but collaborative inertia is the natural state of affairs, the default position we fall into if we're not vigilant. Think about it like this. Picture an airplane trying to fly. There are two forces at work, the laws of gravity and the laws of aerodynamics. Now, the laws of aerodynamics are strong enough to overcome the laws of gravity so the plane can fly, but the laws of gravity are always in play. So if you lose focus, gravity will quickly take over and you'll be in trouble. Because of gravity, the natural state for airplanes is staying on the ground. But if you understand the laws of aerodynamics and work hard to apply them well, you can fly. The same is true of collaboration. Collaborative inertia is a quote-unquote natural state of human interaction. It's the default position when people work together if they aren't focused on the common good. But there are also things we can do to overcome collaborative inertia and achieve collaborative advantage. So this is our framework. We need to understand the competing forces of collaborative inertia and collaborative advantage so we can develop systems that enable us to work together productively and make better decisions. First, let's talk about collaborative inertia and some of the gravity that keeps collaboration stuck on the ground, so to speak. People from different organizations and different sectors of society literally speak different languages, and they have different values and beliefs that often seem incompatible. Additionally, people have interests they want to protect and advance. They have resources and information they want to control. Plus, it's tough to get momentum. Most collaborative work is voluntary, so collaborations are always competing with other responsibilities and commitments. The work of collaboration is often difficult and ambiguous, and unfortunately, people can lose interest or just go through the motions. This is the inertia that can keep collaboration stuck on the ground and unproductive. This is the gravity that needs to be overcome if we are to achieve collaborative advantage.
So to explain this, collaboration is usually a choice, right? And if it is a choice, it will require high level of self-motivation. Now that self-motivation sometimes comes down like law of gravity because other people don't seem to be equally motivated. है ना? हम कुछ अच्छा करने निकले हैं, हमने एक टीम बनाया, मैं तो हर रोज 1 घंटा उस प्रोजेक्ट पे स्पेंड कर रही हूँ, बट लता बहुत बिजी है, right? Lata is not showing up at all. Or Diya comes, but she comes for 15 minutes, then she says, मेरा दूसरा meeting है. तो मुझे लगता है I'm the only one running the show, right? And then I start losing interest in that, which started as a collaboration. Now it looks like it's only my project. So there is some inertia always in collaboration, and that acts like a law of gravity, which just pulls you down. So how do we take ourselves towards the collaborative advantage? What were some of the positives of collaborating at the first place?
And the difficult social issues we face, we need to rise to the occasion. So, what are the laws of aerodynamics for collaboration that can help us achieve collaborative advantage? Well, unfortunately, social systems are not as clean-cut as the world of physics. Collaboration is too context-specific, too reliant on the complexities of human interaction to develop a straightforward list of rules and laws. But there are some basic principles we should keep in mind, and some questions we should continually ask ourselves throughout any collaborative endeavor. First, we need to focus on collaboration.
There are multiple ways of collaborating, multiple reasons to collaborate, multiple methods to collaborate, but there are a few basic principles that I want to share with you through this. Yeah.
Design, or how it is that we develop the capacity to have successful collaboration. To do this, we need to think about collaboration as both a structure and a process. By structure, I'm talking about the arrangements of people, logistics of meetings, etc. Who's at the table, and how is the table set? By process,
so what is the structure? The structure is who all will be in the team. what will be the roles that they will play, right? What will be the logistics of our meetings? What is the overall structure basis which this collaboration will function? And then the other part of it is process.
Table set. By process, I'm talking about all the ways in which people interact. And of course, structure and process are reflexive, meaning they influence each other. How a meeting is structured, for example, will shape how processes unfold, and how people interact can alter the structure of a collaboration. So collaboration design is all about structure and process.
Are we clear with that? Right? So what is the process? Process helps us to understand लोग एक दूसरे से बात कैसे करेंगे. अगर conflict होगा तो कैसे resolve होगा, right? किसी की क्या tonality होगी, लोग आके decisions देंगे क्योंकि वो उस collaboration में senior है, या वो आके views लेंगे. हम कैसे एक दूसरे के साथ interact करेंगे, उसका क्या process होगा, that is equally important as the structure is. So process will impact the structure, and the structure also impacts the process, right?
Now, too often people emphasize structure over process, as if all we need to do is get the right people at the table and they'll figure it out. But if we don't pay attention to how people actually interact at the table, we're missing a key piece of the puzzle. Other times we emphasize process too much. We get lost in the minutiae of procedures and policies, and we lose sight of the big picture. And as you might imagine, there is no one structure or process that is right for every collaboration. But there are some key considerations for each we need to keep in mind. For structure, the big issue is representation. What interests are being represented? By whom and how? It's important that relevant stakeholders have an opportunity for meaningful participation, more than just a chance to speak.
So structure में क्या important है? That we see who is representing what. अगर दो लोगों ने ये प्रोजेक्ट शुरू किया है तो ये उनका vested interest है जो हम लोग सब cater कर रहे हैं, या there is a bigger picture and these people are able to show us that bigger picture. Are they only coming to tell us what they want us to do, or are they also interested and open to listen to what we would like to share?
And that those involved have the authority to speak for others and make decisions. For process, the main issue is patterns of interaction, and whether or not the ways in which people interact create a favorable environment for cooperation. Do people in this collaboration trust each other, for example? People who trust each other are more likely to overcome differences, give each other the benefit of the doubt, and make better decisions together. So how can we interact?
We talked about trust last month, and the reason why we did that before collaboration is because collaboration is not possible without trust. When we trust each other, only then are we comfortable to have conflicts, isn't it? Because to have a conflict means to be able to speak out what you truly believe, what you truly feel. And for that, you have to feel safe to be able to voice that. And वो safe feeling के लिए trust ज़रूरी है. So you've got to work on trust, after which conflicts can happen. And when conflicts happen, we arrive at better decisions together.
So that we build the levels of trust in a collaboration. Additionally, do people have the freedom to bring up conflicts and have honest dialogue, or do we squelch debate to achieve an artificial consensus? Collaboration doesn't require unanimity or perfect alignment of values and beliefs, but rather a sufficient understanding to have coordinated action. When conflicts are articulated and divergent interests are surfaced, we're more likely to develop respect for alternative perspectives and create a trajectory of progress that can accommodate different ideas.
And I will conclude with that, on this piece to say that the important point here is to look at what is the collaborative action that we want to take together. How comfortable are we with the bigger picture, and how we have created that structure which is aligning everybody with each other, and also the process which manages the right way to interact with each other. So if the question is, can collaborations fail? What do you think the answer would be?
No.
No? Anyone
Yes,
else?
but हाँ, अगर हम उसके negatives और positives को ध्यान से नहीं देखेंगे तो maybe we can not work on the positive side, or it cannot work.
Okay. Yes, it may. Vishwanath is saying. Any other view? Yes, they can if structure and process are not clear, Dipashri is saying. Yeah. Would you agree to that? Right? So do collaborations fail? The answer is a big yes. They fail all the time. In fact, very rarely collaborations see the light of the day. And that is because either people get stuck with only the structure, get the right people, or they get stuck only with the policies and procedures, right? The method of doing things. But forget that the bigger picture is important for everyone to see, right? So it brings me back to the classic statement about communication. And the golden rule of communication is that the how of communication is what matters 93 times more than the what of communication. The policies and the procedures and the hierarchies are the what. The how is the way we design the rights and wrongs. What is okay, how you will talk to each other, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable, what are the values that we will demonstrate with the how of our communication as a collaborative team, right? The bottom line of which is always respect. You with me? Okay, any questions on this piece before I pick up the questions that you all had shared in the group?
Yukti, more than question, I would really like to raise a point because I'm a person who's big on collaboration. In the last 8 years, I think I've had a lot of different collaborations for different businesses, and a lot of them are still on. But I feel that in the excitement of a collaborative effort, systems and processes are often not even paid attention to. They are not even outlined. It's just a big excitement of some big venture and some big hopes, and everything just starts. And I think more than what you said about the how of communication, and later when you have issues or you have questions or you have systems not set and confusion, it is the nature of a person that will finally come out is how calm can you be, how respectful can you be, and how open you can be to having a different viewpoint. It's eventually just something that you build up in you as a person who has changed as a leader, as an entrepreneur, as a businessman. And this change I have seen in me since I have collaborated with SBY Academy. And I am always grateful to you, because the first thing that I say to myself and to others is, can we sleep over this? Can we just talk about this tomorrow? Oh God, the order is going to collapse. We have to return 5 lakhs to the client. Oh, we are going to be left faceless. Can we talk about it tomorrow? Can we just sleep over it? So there's no drama created. There's no unnecessary. So thank you. This how of communication you have drilled into us in 1 year, and we have become better people because of that. It's just a comment, not a question. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madhuri. I know exactly what you mean. And it's just so amazing to see that depth of gratitude that I see and experience every time you share anything. Thank you so much. Okay, so interestingly, when I had a closer look at the questions, we picked up 4 questions which people had asked in the group, of which 3 were pretty much similar to each other. I'm going to read out all 3 so that I can collectively respond to it. And for the 4th question, I would like to collaborate with someone in the room here who's an expert and understands more about that subject than I do. So I will bring her in a bit, but let's just look at the questions first. So there were a couple of questions asked on why, does collaboration fail? And what are some of the barriers of collaboration? So let me expand this. I'm going to read as is, and we put it as is. I give myself 8 on 10 as being a facilitator. We purely work collaborating with others, doing a project as a team, but sometimes the other person is not open to collaborate. Then what? Now, collaboration requires a mutual consensus. I cannot force a collaboration upon anybody. Can I? Can I insist that you collaborate with me? You might consider me as your competition. And you might say that if I've got that project, why shouldn't I get all of it? Why should I share any of it with you? I can do very well by myself. I'm not open to collaboration. So let us not bark a wrong tree. Is everyone cut out to collaborate? Maybe, maybe not. Even those who are cut out to collaborate, are they always willing? to collaborate? Maybe, maybe not. Correct? So if the question is, I want to collaborate, but Vinita doesn't want to collaborate, how do I collaborate with her? The answer to that question is another question. Why do you want to collaborate with Vinita only? Why not Sana? Why not Lata? Why not Samta? Correct? Because collaboration is about looking at the bigger picture. So if I am not enough by myself and Vinita completes me, but Vinita is unwilling, can I reach out to somebody else who brings in the same skill set but is willing? Because that willingness is very, very important for collaboration to be successful. The second question is somewhat related, asked by Megha, and she says, I would like to know why, the ways to collaborate, or what can be done when the other side does not have collaborative mindset. Again, if the collaborative mindset is missing, maybe it is not the right collaboration for you in the first place. What is that collaborative mindset and how do you know it is missing or not? I'm going to share with you 10 reasons why collaboration fails, which will also take care of the third question asked by Aditya. I would like to know the key barriers to collaboration. Right? So let me take these 3 questions together and I'll open up my mind map here. So of course, we know what collaboration is. I've covered that in a podcast. It is not communication, not cooperation or coordination or even teamwork. Right? Collaboration is when set of people or individuals come together with their skill set that complements each other and is aligned towards a bigger purpose that they are all committed to achieve. Right? Now, why do collaborations fail? There are 10 reasons, or if I may say traits, that people might exhibit. And when you sense any of this, I want you to ask yourself whether there is merit in trying to make this work, or will your time and effort be better utilized if you look out for somebody else to collaborate with, right? Because when I start working on Samta and I want to help her get rid of that trait which will not let her collaborate, I've lost that much time and effort to actually collaborate with somebody and get on with what I wanted to achieve together. Are you with me? Right? So if Samta is showing any of these traits, now that I'm mindful of it, I may want to see if I can collaborate with Lata or Sana or Anjana. Are you getting the point, guys? Yeah? Okay. So first trait could be people who are defensive. Defensive means they don't like taking the blame for anything. They don't like taking complete responsibility for anything. Whenever anything goes wrong, they start blaming other things or other reasons why it went wrong. It's not because of me. It could be because of anything else. So this attitude or this trait of getting defensive is a big barrier in collaborating with people. Right? The second reason why collaboration fails is when you see somebody bringing out irrational rivalry. मतलब कोई reason ही नहीं है आपका और मेरा competition का. आपका skill अलग है, मेरा skill अलग है. लेकिन आपको लग रहा है कि मैं competition हूँ. और मुझे लग रहा है कि आप collaborator हो सकते हो. Are you understanding? So you are thinking that it can either be Yukti or me. And there is this sense of deep sense of competition and competitiveness all the time. That वो जो बचपन में हम बोलते हैं ना, first आना है बस. चाहे subject कुछ भी हो, बस first आना है. चाहे दोस्त हो या ना हो, first आना है. So when you get stuck with that competition, that it's either me or you are not open to collaboration. And that's why I'm calling it as irrational rivalry. It's not a rational, it's not a logical rivalry because the space is enough for you and me. But you just perceive me to be your competition. The third could be people who like to please others at any cost. Okay, they are also not good collaborators. Why? Because the reason why I want to partner with Samta, Samta is going to kill me for this. Okay, so let me take Tarun. The reason why I want to collaborate with Tarun is because I see some skill set in him, which is going to add a lot of value to the project, right? But if I realize that Tarun is more keen or inclined towards making everybody in the team happy and like him, which we get into very easily, don't we? We get into this popularity contest. Everybody likes to be liked. Is that right? Give me a thumbs up if you like to be liked. You like it? Of course you like it. It's nice. It's a good thing, no, to be liked by people. Yeah, Swati? Yeah, it's a good thing, right? But becoming a people pleaser means that you are ready to let go of even the bigger picture just to be liked by people, which means even if you disagree with something, you're not putting your hand up to say this is not going in the right direction, because you want to play along with people in the name of being a team player. So this is again a trait which will be a big barrier in collaborating with others. The fourth is negativity. Simple. This is straightforward, not much explanation needed. People who bring in negativity with them are not great collaborators. People who always find reasons why this will fail. People who always point out to others who are not smart enough, good enough, experienced enough, old enough, right? They bring in negativity, and that takes the overall energy of the team down. So not a great trait to have if you want to collaborate. The fifth reason why you can fail is because of overconfidence or optimism. Over optimistic means when you are in a state of denial that this project can ever fail. Okay, I've started something, right? It will definitely be successful. Or, oh, because this project is so good for the community and the mankind that this has to work. Now, even if the purpose is selfless, if you are blind towards some low-hanging problems and issues, right, you are going to waste everybody's time who is, trying to come and collaborate with you. Are you understanding? So it is better to allow people to say, okay, tell me what are some of the reasons why we might fail. And if you've read or done this activity called 6 Thinking Hats, which probably we will in one of our offline meetings also, it is basically a method in which you think in 6 different ways. One of those ways is what will go right. Another way is what could go wrong. So over-optimistic people just blindly want to believe that this is a super hit. This will be a super duper success. Again, a trait which can make you fail in a collaboration as a team. The sixth reason is over control. When you are trying to make sure everything goes right, everybody does what they're supposed to do, you get to a level of micromanagement. Have you met these people who micromanage? Give me a thumbs up, give me a thumbs up on that. Have you? Tarun, Shilpa, you have? Bharti? Let me see more thumbs ups there, right? Have you seen people who try to micromanage?
Yes.
Yeah, Shubha. So how do we feel? Do they bring out our productivity? Do they bring out our potential? No, right? Why? Because they exhaust us. First, you have to do what you have to do. Then you have to tell them for everything that you have done. Then you have to explain that whatever you did was what was needed to be done. Itne explanation mein to aap aur bhi kar lete kaam, right? So micromanaging, controlling everything, also takes away the element of trust, which I said a while back is the foundation of collaboration. If you trust your team, you should trust their ability to deliver. If they don't deliver, then you question. And if you're questioning periodically and you don't see any change, any improvement, then you have to take some tough calls and not worry about being a people pleaser. How can I let go of anybody? I'm a successful leader. I can make anybody a leader. No, maybe the person in your team is not cut out, not ready, right? So you've got to see the bigger picture at all times. Over controlling is a trait which will not let you reach that bigger picture because you're not allowing people to add value. Okay, so that's another reason why collaboration can fail. The seventh reason is secret disconnect. ये बहुत interesting है. Secret disconnect कब होता है? जब लोग माइंड में डिसाइड कर लेते हैं कि मुझे ऐसे नहीं करना है, ये जो मुझे सजेशन दिया गया मैं ऐसे नहीं करने वाली, but I'm not going to say that to you. I will say yes, but in my head the answer is no. Are you understanding? Now the reasons could be many. Reason ये भी हो सकता है कि I'm not comfortable confronting. I don't want to confront Sana, or I don't want to tell Dia I don't want to do this. Now everybody is saying okay, I'll say okay, but in my head I'm not okay. It's a secret disconnect, right? So when you see, how do you identify secret disconnect as a trait in other people? जो लोग secretly disconnect होते हैं ना, उनके बिहेवियर में और कैरेक्टर में कॉन्ग्रुएंस नहीं होता है. कॉन्ग्रुएंस मतलब वो कहते कुछ और है, करते कुछ और है. हाँ, वो कहते ही है कि विनीता इज माय बेस्ट फ्रेंड, और जैसे विनीता रूम के बाहर जाती है तो वो विनीता के बारे में नेगेटिव बात कर रहे हैं. राइट, कह कुछ और रहे, कर कुछ और रहे. कहते हैं कि आई वैल्यू टाइम, लेकिन लेट आते हैं. कहते हैं कि मनी डजंट मैटर, लेकिन इज एक्सट्रीमली मनी कॉन्शियस. Do you see that disparity in people, that disconnect in people in their mindset, right? So this is with these are the people who secretly disconnect with a few things, right? They don't share. Eighth reason could be simply unfriendliness. Simple, unfriendly people. People who are rude, they spoil the overall environment of a team. They might be very skilled. They might be extremely talented, very intelligent, right? They might know things better than anybody else in the team. But if they are unfriendly, would anybody else want to work with them? Then how will we collaborate? Right? So you cannot have unfriendliness as your trait, or try too hard to collaborate with people because they are very skilled, even though they are unfriendly. If you have some tolerance today, that tolerance will start dipping slowly. If not for you, maybe for another team member, and eventually the whole team will go down. Right? Ninth trait to look at, the second last trait that I want you to look at is superiority complex. मिले आप ऐसे लोगों से जिनको लगता है कि उनको सब पता है, the know it all, right? So if somebody has a lot of superiority complex, again, very difficult to collaborate with such people. And the last reason why collaboration can fail is with a non-listener. End of the game है वो तो, कि कोई सुन ही नहीं रहा है आप क्या कह रहे हैं, तो कोलैबोरेट तो कैसे कर लेंगे. और इसके ऊपर हम बहुत बात करने वाले हैं in the month of August, right? Listening is a skill and it's a very large part of communication. Large part of communication is about how well you listen. So we're going to improve our ability to listen, right? Upgrade our listening levels. There are 3 levels of listening. I'm going to talk a lot about that this month. So a non-listener who only likes to listen to his or her own voice is not a great person to collaborate with. All right, so here are the 10 reasons why collaboration will fail. If the question was, will collaboration fail? Can it fail? And the answer is yes. The answer is yes, like 10 times. Because there are 10 different reasons why the answer could be yes, it will fail. Yes, if somebody is superiority complex, yes. If somebody is only trying to please, yes, it will fail. You getting that? So a very interesting takeaway from this piece could be for you to identify which trait do you sometimes exhibit. And let me tell you that we all have a combination of 4 or 5 of these traits at any given time. We do, right? So we need to see that. What are these 3, 4, 5 things out of these 10 things that I am consciously, unconsciously, behaving, this is the way I'm behaving, which could take away the opportunity from me to collaborate with people, which could make it difficult for others to collaborate with me. Would that be interesting? Has anyone been able to identify with any and is good to share?
Yes, me.
Yes.
First is people pleasing. The second is secret disconnect. Yeah, these are the most I would say that I see in myself. People pleasing behavior sometimes with friends to get fit in with the group. I do तो मैं भूल ही जाती हूँ कि मेन क्या था, तो उसी में लग जाता है, फिर तो मेन पर्पस गायब भी हो जाता है. तो वो एक चीज होती है. देन सेकंड है कि सीक्रेट डिस्कनेक्ट. फॉर एग्जाम्पल कई बार होता है ना कि फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपने ULM वाला शेयर किया था, अभी मुझे समझ नहीं आया कि मुझे उसको कैसे ज्वाइन करना चाहिए या फिर क्या कहूँ उसके बारे में, क्योंकि मुझे समझ नहीं आता मैं लेने वाली हूँ नहीं लेने वाली हूँ. सो मैंने उस पर कुछ भी नहीं बोला, मतलब मैंने बस आई थिंक कांग्रेचुलेशन आपको कुछ भी थोड़ा बहुत ही कहा होगा, बट मैंने सोचा कि देखेंगे बाद में. तो इट इज समवॉट लाइक सीक्रेटली डिस्कनेक्ट, बिकॉज मैं शायद उसे ना लूं बिकॉज ऑफ मनी, और अगर उसमें कुछ ऐसा हुआ तो तो वो शायद एक रीजन हो सकता है कि अभी मैं चुप रहूं या फिर कुछ भी बहाना बना दूं, ऐसा हो सकता है। मतलब वो है।
Okay, I hear you, dear. Thank you. Anyone else? Quick sharing.
Yeah. Hi, Yukti.
Hi, Swati.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. With me, I found this at least four very prominent. That is people pleasing. That is my way of looking at it was not to get into argument. Why get into argument and waste time? Chalo आगे बढ़ो. This type of yeah, Baba, chalo okay. If you are saying we'll go with you. I don't want to argue because I have no time to waste. I say. So that was the way of looking at people pleasing. But ultimately, it is what I realized is people pleasing. Another one is over control. Another one is secret disconnect. So that is the most prominent one many times. And then again, non-listener. So non-listener in the sense that when you are talking, I'm not fully listening because I'm ready with the answer of question which I want to say. So these are the traits which I found in myself.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Great sharing there. Thank you, Swati. Wonderful. I'm picking up from what Dipashri is sharing. It's difficult for me to trust others and end up doing almost everything in the assignment, right? So if you don't trust, there is no way to collaborate. And then what will happen? You will end up doing everything yourself. Then you don't enjoy the benefit of creating a team where work can be divided and maybe some part of it can be done better than what you would have been able to do by yourself. So we need to go back to the basic, which is the foundation, and that is trust building. Right. So wonderful that you realize that, Dipashri. Wonderful sharing. Last comment quickly, anyone, before we get to the last question?
Yukti, overconfidence and defensiveness comes across very strongly. Multiple reasons why I believe that could be a reason could be because somewhere down the line you believe that you know quite a lot with the years of experience that you've had or with the kind of people that you've worked with. So somewhere you don't agree with those people, but at the same point of time, I would not call it a secret what do you call I would not consider it that, because it's not that you are shying away from admitting that you're not going to do it. You are very confidently admitting it that you're not going to do it, because somewhere down the line that overconfidence plays along. So I think very dominatingly, when you were giving examples for all of them, somewhere I could relate to these two very strongly when it came to me.
Awesome. Beautiful sharing. And for that, they deserve nothing less than an applause, right? So let's hear it for Diya, Swati, Anjana, and Dipashri for their very honest and beautiful sharing. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Loved it. Thank you. Let's move to the last question. And then I want to quickly share with you not only people who have walked the talk last month and are the winners, but also about what we're going to do in the offline meeting for those who have the opportunity to be in Mumbai and meet me in Mumbai in person. And I would love to meet you too. But there is more than one reason to do that. So I'm going to take you through that in a bit. Let's see what is the last question. Bharti asks, I wanted to understand in which type of collaboration legal processes are involved, and are there any types of that processes? If in internal collaboration of an organization, what should be the communication strategy one should adapt, right? So in simple words, are there some legal processes related to collaboration? And if there is an internal collaboration in the organization, what should be the communication strategy? I'm going to add to this Diya's question on, is it okay for one person to acquire or one organization to acquire another? Do they start creating monopoly at one point? And is it bad for the overall community and the overall environment to give that monopoly to that one organization or individual? So let me invite Lata Daswani to collaborate with me on this question. She's a subject matter expert. And together, we also want to demonstrate how collaboration can give you an experience of better learning. So please put your hands together for Lata Daswani.
Thank you. It's a great question. I think I'll just divide the question into three parts. One is collaboration, where legal processes are involved literally, in the sense that you actually have to go to the court and make sure that those legal processes are followed. The second one, because you want to collaborate, the consequences that you have to create legal documentation just to make sure that it is structured. And the third one, where even when you want to collaborate, but because of a legal requirement or a legal regulation, you're unable to collaborate. So, in the first piece, it's the example of merger and acquisition, where two companies want to merge. They come together to scale businesses. They feel they have synergies in terms of expanding businesses, in terms of using resources. They have resources which are complementary. Their goals are common, and that's how mergers happen. It's a very long drawn process, goes through a court. Once both the companies have agreed that they're going ahead with the merger, they actually file a merger application in the court. They have detailed agreements, and the process goes through the entire legal process in over a period of 3 to 6 months, and each party has to follow the conditions mentioned in the merger judgment or agreement. That is the first piece. The second piece, where two collaborators come together on a commercial level, and they want to document that collaboration. For example, if there is a startup which is like an ecosystem, I can take an example of the startup that Yukti and me are working in, VCOS. So where we actually have startup clients who want to raise funds. When they want to raise funds, they come to us and we help facilitate that process and get them to investors. So as VCOS, we don't have investors who are, we are not investors, but we are collaborating with investors like venture capital funds or PE funds or angel investors, and making sure that the startup clients that come to us are paired with the compatible investors, and both can figure out a win-win. So we are facilitating that whole process. So it is like a collaboration between VCOS and the investor. So there may not exactly be a transaction between the two of us, but we need to make sure that the process is structured. So we will document it and get the memorandum of understanding signed between the investor and VCOS to say these are the terms on which we will work, where we are not supposed to be compensated for each other, but we have a win-win in all of these. These are the conditions that we will follow, and these are the requirements that we will follow. And the same can be done with certain brands. When they are complementary, they can come together and say that you can promote my brand with your clients, and I will promote your brand with my clients. There are synergies where they can work together. They have a brand collaboration agreement. So again, that is a consequence. So that document is a legal document. That's why it's a legal process. And the third piece, there are certain businesses where there are Chinese walls. Have you guys heard of Chinese walls? It's essentially where, two verticals of a same entity are serving clients, different clients, but they have confidential information. So to give you an example, if there is a M&A team or investment advisory team which is working with a client to facilitate a merger and acquisition transaction, all that information is supposed to be very confidential with that M&A team. There is a NDA, non-disclosure agreement signed. And another vertical of that same business or same entity is actually advising other set of clients to invest in certain companies, in the stocks and shares of certain companies. If this vertical were to give information about a M&A transaction of a particular company to the other vertical who's actually encouraging clients to invest in this company, which is going to go through a major change, it is more like sharing insider information, because when the M&A transaction happens, the stock price will go up substantially because it is expected to grow brilliantly in coming years, right? So there is a Chinese wall between those two verticals to make sure that even though you want to collaborate as teams and serve your clients, for some of these transactions, you're legally not allowed. The Securities and Exchange Board of India has certain regulations. For certain set of businesses which are run in the same entity or same group of companies, to to not collaborate. They have Chinese walls, and they have to make sure that those requirements are followed. So these are the three kinds of collaborations where legal processes are involved. I hope I answered that question.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Lata. That was like a white paper on collaboration. And I'm sure people got it, because when you're asking a question related to legality, to thoda complex to hoga answer. But basically the answer is yes, if there are legal processes involved, it can get complicated, and there are some reasons for that. Now, I just want to quickly touch upon what Dia was asking, and she's asking from that space of innocence, but I think she's also speaking for many other people who are not clear about acquisition. So, Lata, I want to pick this up as a last point with you. The way acquisition is understood as against merger is, merger is when two companies, entities come together and they blend with each other. Whereas an acquisition is when a supposedly bigger enterprise takes over a smaller enterprise and becomes the central management team for both the entities. So from an ethical point of view or a community perspective, is that a healthy sign, or is it an indicator of any sort of possible concern that one organization starts acquiring many others in that space and hence becomes a shark in the ocean? What's your view?
Well, I think in business, even the company which is being acquired will always have a choice to allow itself to be acquired. Most of the companies, go in for the acquisition, one, because they are not doing well, and if they don't get acquired by another company, they will fail, they will shut down. It is better to be acquired, grow into a bigger company by collaborating, rather than shutting down business. And also, most acquisition agreements will have detailed terms and conditions. So you will always have offers in place. There could be 5 companies bidding for that acquisition, or talking to the acquiring company in terms of whether they want to take over or not. So most of these terms and conditions will actually take care of the employees, or have certain conditions to say that my employees will be employees of the company acquiring, or this is the only percentage of employees who would be laid off and they will get a exit package, for example, or certain brand guidelines, or certain reputation related issues, that reputation that we've built in the market. The company which is acquiring has to make sure that the brand is not impacted and things like that. So there are detailed conditions. Unless both the companies agree that the acquisition is going to be beneficial, in 99% cases, the company which is being acquired will have the right of refusal. There could be some companies, and those are likely to be in promoter driven, family driven businesses, where there could be certain force, and because the earlier agreements were not effectively documented, and the transactions didn't go well, and so the company which is doing well may have an upper hand, and the company which is being acquired then doesn't have a choice but to get acquired, even if the company doesn't want. But in majority of the cases, it is a type of collaboration while it is called acquisition.
Right, absolutely. So it is a form of collaboration, like you rightly said. So I think Vishwanath is saying, after Vodafone Idea collaboration, customer is in the soup. Yeah. So I think while the whole reason is to serve the customer, and that's why we create organizations, somewhere it starts becoming a function of just keeping the bottom lines going, right, and keep sailing through, and profitability takes over, which eventually falls flat if you've not kept customer at the middle of it all. So yeah, yet to see what happens there, with Vodafone Idea. But let's come back to our discussion. Thank you so much, Lata, for adding so much value and taking up the question so well. Let's hear it for her, please. And keep clapping as I introduce the 2 winners of last month. The first one is someone you should be watching out for, and see if you can collaborate with her very, very quickly, because she's one person to look out for, and that's Dia Jain, the oldest in wisdom and youngest in age in this group. So many, many congratulations, Dia.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
You are truly inspiring for the rest of us to understand what it really means to be hungry to learn. Is that right? Am I speaking for you all? Give me a thumbs up if you agree with that. Like nothing holds this girl back from learning. You can think what you want. She'll in the beginning say, this could be a silly question, but I'm going to ask. Because if I don't ask, I will not learn. And I really love that about you, Diya. Just keep that going. That I think is really awesome.
Thank you so much.
Okay, and the other winner is Vishwanath. Please put your hands together to another person who not only has an opinion about things, but is also very open to listening to other people's opinion.
Sure.
I have seen the openness with which he receives anyone challenging his point of view, and he's clearly there to learn and to continue learning as a lifelong learner. So many congratulations, Vishwanath. Thank you so much for contributing towards the community with your participation.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so it's time that you know what have you won with this. And while coaching is always an option, and I think I've coached Diya quite a few times already. So I want to open up another prize this time for Vishwanath and Diya. There is a course that we are going to start off with on the 19th of August. It's going to be on effective communication to learn how to become a confident speaker and express your thoughts and feelings clearly. Right, so I'm going to share this detail with you. This is complimentary for you both as winners. Please be a part of this course. It's going to be a 5-day workshop that I will take you through on every aspect of effective communication. And trust me, there is a lot of learning in store in these 5 days. So block your calendars from 19th August onwards, and the details will soon follow. Does that sound good?
Yeah, of course, ma'am.
Awesome. So many
Yes, of
congratulations once again. Let's get ready to listen and learn how to listen better in the month of August. One of the most important skills as a leader and especially a servant leader. Before we disperse, please join me to welcome Shilpa Shri to the team. She will be managing the community, and she comes with a very rich experience, corporate experience. That's Shilpa for you right there. So please give her a warm welcome.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Yukti, for the warm welcome. And I'm like really glad to be here. Very
Wonderful.
exciting to see so many of you. And there's so much of wonderful learning going on. And I hope to add some value here and also take away something for myself in this process. Thank you.
Sure you will. Sure you will, Shilpa. And I think it's not just a function of your experience, which is quite rich, having worked with Thomson Reuters, you worked with Wipro for over 10 years, you've dealt with SMEs as well. And you're also dealing with a 12-year-old at home as a single parent. So, you know, definitely quite a lot of things about what it takes to be a leader in professional and personal space. So I have no doubt that we will enjoy this community even more with Shilpa Shri while Sana takes over a few other important projects that we have within SBY. I would request you all to please support Shilpa the way you've supported Sana and me all this while. Right? We're here to grow, we're here to learn. So let's give that opportunity to everyone to do so. Is that a given? Can I get a thumbs up on that?
Thank you.
A big thank you to Sana for holding it all this while. Let's hear it for Sana and for the warmth that she adds to the group with her hearts and I want this and I want that and that innocence. And I think while she'll forever be part of the family, we will allow Shilpa to bring in her expertise and take it forward from here. Yeah, Anjana.
I just want to know, will Shilpa also keep giving us goodies like Sana used to give me on the side for being good to Sana?
These are side deals which you have to confirm. Okay, get that validated, Shilpa, before you sign up for it. It's a trap.
Yeah, it actually sounds very interesting, you know, all of this. So I should check with Sana what are all the things she's been, you know, doing and having with each of you and get that side information to, you know, for myself.
Sana, the best part will be Sana is like, मैंने तो कभी कुछ नहीं किया, मेरे नाम पे क्यों बिल पड़ रही है?
Yeah. So thanks so much. I just want to quickly invite you all, please do join us for the offline meeting. We do this so that we get to meet each other, network with each other. And I want to quickly show you what I intend to share with you through some fun games and activities when we meet in person. And that will be more about how to build collaboration as a skill And as a culture in your organization or in your company or your NGO, wherever you're working, how do you create a culture of collaboration? And how do you embed this skill, this collaboration as a skill within yourself as a leader? That's what I'm going to expand upon, only in person, only in the offline meeting, which happens on 6th of August. That's the coming Saturday from 5:30 to 7:30 with some garam chai samosa. Okay, so please do join in if you can. And if you're out of Mumbai, that's the only reason why I would share the information with you separately. Okay, but those in Mumbai only get it if I see them in person here in my office. Sana has been sharing the details on that, and we will again put that out between now and Saturday. All right, any closing comments?
Nothing, a brilliant session as always. So it's always been a pleasure listening to you, Yukti. And, you know, every time I feel that collaboration mein kya batayegi wo. And every time I'll have like my book, which is full. So if you notice, I've not looked up because there's so much that I'm writing all throughout. And I'm like, bas, Yukti, aaj ke liye itna kafi, my ink is getting over now. But yes, I mean, it's always a delight to hear questions. But I think it's a bigger delight to know that there's so much of value that is getting added to the system. And more than getting value added to the system, it's available free of cost. So I think that's something which, you know, I always learn this from you, Yukti, the selfless giving part of it. And I still feel there is a decade more that I need to learn from you. So thank you so much.
To be honest, it's not really free. I charge a lot of your time and a lot of your attention to make sure that I share whatever little I know. And thank you so much for giving that to me so generously all the time. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Hope to see you again next month on 1st and in between on 6th for sure in our offline session on collaboration. And let's gear up to become better listeners. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Thank you.